Nobody be alone if I don't look up, because if I do, I'm going to get through this. Dad is in heaven now. He's seen his dad for the first time in 64 years. My grandma Weimer's giving him a huge hug, like only she could to one of her boys. My grandma Moke is smiling and comforting him. And somewhere waiting his turn quietly is my grandpa Moke, with a fly rod, a net, and some hip boots, with a smile on his face and a tear in his eye. My dad was the greatest dad anyone could ask for. I know everyone says that, but as his youngest son, I got the best of both worlds. He was still young enough to do all the things I wanted to do, go camping, teach me how to fish, and teach me how to hunt. But he had the wisdom of raising my two older brothers, and in the end, it was priceless. Some of the most vivid memories I have of my dad are from sitting in a car for hours heading to wherever place we were hunting or fishing or just sitting in a boat or a duck blind. Anyone that knew my dad knows he was a man that could fix anything. He could also just about make anything he wanted to when he put his mind to it. He used to make boat trailers, fishing lures, and all sorts of little things that he would create to make his life easier or mom's life easier. My dad was also a very meticulous and very organized person. Just ask my wife. She found out while helping mom get Christmas lights out at Christmas time how he kept his extension cords packed away. There was a place for everything, and he knew exactly where it was. Even as his days drew shorter, if you asked him where anything in his house was or should be, he would know where it was. In his last days at home, my mom kept saying he'd be so mad at me if he could get out of his bed and see how messy his dresser drawers are. My dad is leaving behind a legacy of love, honor, and great commitment. He passed only weeks away from celebrating my mom's 50th wedding anniversary. The love they shared makes me proud, gives me a great goal to strive for in my own marriage. My dad also passed just weeks away from turning 70. And that's truly one of the saddest parts of this whole thing. He was just so young. Really quick story about my dad. When Heather was pregnant with Tristan, we were throwing names around and just couldn't quite decide on one. We were heading to the hospital to visit my grandma Weimer before she passed away with my mom and dad. And Dad said, "Hey, I watched a movie last night with Brad Pitt played a character named Tristan." Me and Heather looked at each other and it was sealed that our little boy's name was decided. Little did he know, just 11 short years later, that boy he named would be by his side through all of this. And right up to the end, didn't want to leave Grandpa's side. My dad fought every day from the day he found he had cancer. He never showed fear to me, only bravery with every test, meaning radiation, chemotherapy treatment. He fought to put weight on, he fought to get as strong as possible for his surgery. He knew it was going to be a long road, but no one could have foreseen just how long. He fought through round after round of pneumonia, and then last week the fighting turned into thoughts of the future and making his last days comfortable on his terms at home. He came home with a smile. He got to see his beloved Shiloh for the first time in 8 months. He got to see many family and friends, and we as a family took care of him right up till the end. One of the things I remember most towards the end was during one of the more unpleasant moments of taking care of Dad was embarrassed because of what Mom had to do. But she looked at him and said, "You've taken care of me for more than 50 years, and now it's my turn." One of the only true bright spots that came out of this illness and the struggle was that it brought me and my brothers back together and as strong in our relationship as we've ever been. And I know that made him happy before he left. He leaves behind his Lois Ann. He leaves behind his 3 boys, 3 beloved daughter-in-laws, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, brother, all that honor him for the rest of our lives, and he will be missed by all that knew and loved him. My promise to you guys is to spend every moment I am alive honoring him by being the best husband, father, son, and man that I can be, just like you. I have all the faith in the world, and when I see you again, it'll be in a place where none of this pain and suffering exists. You will always be my daddy, and I will always love you.